Hello everybody and welcome to another amazing video of DIY investing. We've been talking a lot about why I believe that we're moments away from our first true alt season this cycle. Ethereum is starting to break out and show identical structure to Bitcoin's last bull market before it exploded. And then we're also starting to see Bitcoin dominance topping, which is always the indication that altcoins are ready to run. Today I have a new altcoin that I wanted to share with you guys. It's been a few months since I last talked about it on this channel. We just had our launch, the price is roaring, and we have so many big backers ready to list this project that I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys this update. AI and institutions combined are really where the focal point of money is going to gravitate, and in my opinion, I found the best altcoin that solves both of these issues. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you find any value in this video, please do me a favor, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so in my last video, we talked a little bit about Ethereum and how the cycle of Ethereum is pretty much just following what Bitcoin did in the last bull market. Where we were at was all the way down here, and we were just consolidating right after this massive capitulation that took place. I've been telling you guys that all this is a capitulation in the same ways that Bitcoin did in COVID, and shortly after, when Bitcoin ended up rebounding off of that little resistance level it lost, that was really the moment of time when the market went parabolic. If you guys notice down here, ETH is doing the same thing, and it just regained this same support level that Bitcoin did from its last cycle. In my opinion, ETH is getting ready to run up to this resistance, breaking above $3,500, and the second that that happens is when I believe Ethereum actually goes parabolic, and we have true alt season for the first time this cycle. Now, as I've been talking about true alt season doesn't happen until Bitcoin dominance tops, but when we're looking at Bitcoin dominance, we have a lot of the same weaknesses that we're looking to follow through with. When we're seeing all of this bearish divergence that's formed over the course since basically the last 2 years, it was October of 2023 where we first started to build this resistance level. And every single time we made a new higher high in the Bitcoin dominance, you notice that the RSI made a lower high. And in fact, over the last 2 different reactions off of this resistance level, we've seen further lower highs on the RSI. In my opinion, this is the top of Bitcoin dominance, and we are about to start that big drop, and we're going to see a wash all the way back down to about 40% dominance. And this is the moment where we've been building all of our altcoin positions. We understand that the second that Ethereum breaks out, that the second that Bitcoin dominance drops, altcoins as a whole run. And in my opinion, the very best altcoins that you can find at the early portion of the cycle, right as we're starting to see that alt season take off, are the ones that just launched or have the least amount of sell pressures pushing them. Because what you end up seeing with new launches, as the new project comes out, as the new token starts trading, there's only new buyers that are ready to step in. There isn't all the old bag holders, all of the old money that are just holding things down, which is why some of the very best performing investments that you're going to make are new projects that just got added in the last few months. And when the market starts to dip as far as the Bitcoin dominance goes and all of this new money goes into the altcoins, those are oftentimes the ones that you see go from small market caps of 5 to 10 million all the way to hundreds of millions, if not into the billions in market cap. And so for the rest of today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my favorite new cryptos that just launched. Now, about 5 months ago, I covered this on my YouTube channel, so I know a lot of you guys that watch this already got invested. We've been talking about this for a little while, even inside of my Discord group, but we finally just had TGE, and this token is now trading live. So this is Velvet Capital. Now, for you guys that aren't as familiar with what Velvet Capital actually is, Velvet raised $3.7 million from some of the biggest institutional backers inside of the crypto world. These are all of the big money backers that actually invested into this project. And then over the last little while, it's actually been getting incubated by Binance Labs. So we just had TGE. The token is now officially trading, as you can see over in here. But I think now is a really good opportunity to get into this market, considering it's barely trading at $12.5 million in market cap, and there's $8 million worth of 24-hour trade volume. All we've really done is make this first higher high out of the listing. And then most recently, all we did right here was complete that ABC correction with wave C ending right back onto the top of trending support. So as it stands right now, you know, what I'm looking for is any of these dips that come in are opportunities to get into the market, because I do expect that this is just going to continue to pick up heat from here. And as this picks up steam, we're going to only continue to see more people pick up and start watching this project. The thing is, guys, we're going to have a ton of new money entering this market between the listings of Gate.io, crypto, between the listings of KuCoin, and not only that, but being incubated by Binance Labs and having all of that affiliation with Binance. These are all reasons for why there's going to be a lot of new money that are going to be entering into this market. So the fact that most people still don't even know that this just went live gives us a little bit of a unique opportunity to get into this exact investment. Now, like I said, guys, I've been talking about this for the last 5 months. Now is the time where the token's officially trading live, and I do believe that any dips that we get back down in here are an opportunity to ultimately buy back in, considering we've already retested these prior all-time highs, as well as just the range high from this consolidation when we got added to exchanges, and we've corrected right back down onto support and bounced from that. So in my eyes, this dip currently that we're getting is going to be nothing but a retest of this same exact level. And if you're lucky enough to actually buy this retest, I think you're going to be happy when this market starts to break out and goes further up. The thing about this project and why I'm so bullish on it, I mean, we can come down here and look at all of the backers. We are backed by some of the biggest names in crypto. It's been audited by all of the best firms out there so that we can make sure that this thing is safe. But the biggest thing here is it's utilizing not only the institutional demand that we're experiencing this cycle, but it's also utilizing the AI infrastructure between AI agents. Now, right off the bat, all this is it's basically a way for us to be able to build our own portfolios, to be able to copy data from AI as well as AI agents. You can copy trade any of your favorite followers. All it really is a way for us to be able to build these asset baskets. So for example, if I had 5 tokens I thought were really bullish and you guys wanted to be able to copy trade me while also keeping your money safe in your own wallets and stuff, you could actually come and follow one of my portfolios on Velvet Capital, and then I would be able to make the trades in the portfolio, and it would automatically, kind of do the same thing inside of yours because you'd be utilizing the same API keys. So with that being said, the ability for us to control capital management changes in a completely unique way, because now we can utilize these agents to be able to trade the money for us. We can have them go out and identify positive trends. What are the best altcoins that are pumping the hardest? What ones have the most new volume entering into those? Because those are early trends that are going to help dictate what altcoins are good to get into at the early portion of the cycle. Now, on top of that, the fact that I can actually make my own basket, I can actually run my own fund, and I can actually have anybody follow me that I want. So if you're an influencer, if you're this or that, you can have anybody copy trade you along the way. For me, the big thing is obviously the token price, and with this now just barely breaking out of this prior high, this is really where the opportunity is. I can show you all of the biggest backers. I can show you why the project's so good, how it's being utilized between AI agents, and how institutions can ultimately utilize this. But the most important thing is number go up on the screen. And that was the whole reason why I've covered this 5 months ago on the channel. It's the whole reason why I'm covering it now. If you've been following the channel, you should have already got in over the last 5 months. If you're now just finding out about Velvet Capital and you do want to get in, now is the time to get in, considering the retest looks to be complete. We've already bounced from, the earlier portion of this video that I was covering. So in my eyes, like I stated, I honestly think that this thing's going to run to new all-time highs, and we're going to really just follow your typical sort of cycle when these new tokens get added, where you have a resistance, it breaks out, retest that range high as new support, and then you kind of do the same thing, breakout, retest of new support, and it just keeps doing this until it goes more parabolic. Like I stated, guys, we've got all of these big backers. We've got all of these big exchanges that are going to be listing today. Gate, it's already went live. KuCoin, it's already went live. So as 2 of the biggest crypto exchanges are now adding support, it already got through with its incubation with Binance Labs. Now you've seen the token actually trading live. I do think that this thing's going to take off in a big way. And really, when we're looking at the valuations of what some of these projects can hit, I mean, if we just look at the DeFi AI trend inside of CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, you guys are going to be able to see a few different projects that are kind of utilizing this same narrative. Now, keep in mind that none of these are the same as what Velvet Capital is. Velvet's a completely unique asset class in its own. However, when we're looking at some of the top projects as market cap goes, in where we're looking at here, a lot of these have very minimal backers versus what Velvet Capital does, yet 136 mil and 92 mil, 86 mil. You got to keep in mind that the market cap of this is barely under $13 million. And this has way more of an institutional backing than any of the other projects out there. When I look and see only $136 million top inside of the DeFi AI space, DeFi was the biggest narrative of the entire last cycle. And AI, in my opinion, is the biggest narrative of this cycle. So when you're combining AI, you're combining DeFi, and you're also combining institutional level demand and building applications that institutions can actually use. I really don't think that there's much bigger projects out there as far as new releases than Velvet Capital. You know, I've already been talking about it for the last 5 months for these very reasons. I told you guys from the beginning why I believed in this project. And now that they've really just added more backers, they have more big names backing them. Now we're being listed on some of the biggest exchanges out there. These are all reasons on why I think you guys should get invested. At the very least, check it out. I'll link everything in the description, whether you want to go and actually create your own portfolio on Velvet, whether you just want to go ahead and buy the token. I'm buying the token. I did create a portfolio as well, just to be able to play around with it. So if you guys want to be able to check any of this stuff out, I will link it in the description of this video. With that being said, thank you so much for the support. I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace out.